Well, greetings and salutations, good people of the internet. My name is Big Lou, and welcome to my workshop. This is a desk for little person, small person, child, kid. I don't have any of those, so I don't know what they're called. Anyway, my aunt does, and she found this on the side of the road. Maybe it was the side of the road. I don't know. She found a desk and asked if I would be able to restore it for her, and I was like, sure. It sounds like a fun project. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to take a wire wheel attachment for my angle grinder, and we're going to get all the rust off of it. I'm going to spray paint it up. Going to hit the wooden parts with some sandpaper, clean those up. Going to make it look real nice, just in time for homeschooling next year. Let's get to work. Okay, so now that it's all cleaned up, and to be perfectly honest with you, it didn't need nearly as much attention with the angle grinder as I thought it did. Just a regular sanding pad or even my orbital sander worked just fine to get it to the point where we're ready to spray paint. I'm going to first hit it with some of this rusty metal primer from Rust-Oleum. This is not sponsored. I bought this with my own money from the big store with the orange sign. That's Home Depot for those of you kids keep it score at home. Anyway, I've used this on several projects before, and it works really, really well for creating a nice base layer for regular spray paint to go onto metal. For the color, we're going to go with some navy blue gloss, also by Rust-Oleum. Again, not sponsored, but we're going to go ahead and get that taken care of, and then we can deal with the top. While that cures, I'm going to go ahead and get to work on the top because we got to let it fully cure before we can smooth out any of the drips with some high grit sandpaper. So I'm going to let that cure and we'll get started on the delamination stuff that I noticed on the top of this desk. Let's get to it. Let's see how we did. And outstanding. Once we sand the whole thing, it's going to be perfect. Love it when a plan comes together. Okay, so we are in the home stretch here. We're almost ready to put finish on it. There's a bug flying. Anyway, he's not hurting anyone. For finish, I'm going to use some of this wipe-on poly in the satin because the body of it is pretty shiny with the gloss spray paint that I used. I figure the satin finish on the wood parts would make a nice contrast. So I'm going to do about 3 coats of this just because it's going to a toddler, and you know, the more protection you have on the surface of something going to a toddler, the better. It is not completely restored. I didn't sand all the way through it. I left a lot of the, where is it? Can you see that there? I left a lot of this character stuff in there so you can still tell that it is a used piece. Sorry, a little spoiler alert there on the back. The back's already got finish on it. But if you caught that, then good on you. If not, you good folks need to do something for me. If you want to see these sweet money shots of me adding the finish to this, I'm going to need you to hit that subscribe button. That's right. Little quid pro quo, if you will, little tit for tat, if you will. Hit that subscribe button. Go ahead, I'll wait. Go ahead. I did. Yeah, it's right there. Subscribe. Just do it. All right, fine. God. Let's put the finish on so that he doesn't kill me. I want to take just a second before I put the final coat of finish on here. You could see in some of this close-up footage, I don't know if you can see it all that well, but with the naked eye it comes up really, really clear. There's a lot of splotching in that last coat of finish that I put on there. And I think that is really for 2 reasons. The first is that I used just a regular paper towel to apply it, which is totally fine for the first couple of coats. But for the final coat, you really want to use something with no texture on it. And this is just a shop rag that I get. It's an old t-shirt, actually, that you could buy like by the bag at the big orange store. So you don't want to use a paper towel. The second factor is I had my big fan going when I was applying that second coat, and I think it tacked up too quick before I could really get a good smooth finish on it. So how I'm going to fix that, and this is what the directions say to do anyway. So this is some 320 grit sandpaper just on a soft, it's not too soft, it's like semi-firm sanding block. I'm going to go over the whole thing with some 320 grit and then wipe off the dust, and then I'll hit it with my finishing coat, and then we can put it together. So let's get to it. Well, that is another project in the books, another video in the can, and another happy client. I am thrilled with how this thing turned out. It doesn't look new, but that's not what I was going for. I was going for just having a clean, refreshed look. And the top is completely smooth, even though you can still see a lot of the defects and stuff. I was very careful when I was sanding it not to sand it too much because I didn't want to go through the top veneer portion of that plywood desktop. So anyway, my aunt and nephew and cousin and everyone involved in who I was doing this for are all completely thrilled with how this turned out. I am thrilled with how this turned out. I'm going to go ahead and get to work on my next project. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see what I got coming down the pipe. Hit that like button if you think that I earned it. If you don't think that I earned it, hit that like button anyway and pretend that it's a different finger. Whatever you want to do. I'm not going to judge. I'm going to get started on the next project. Guys, especially with all the craziness in the world right now, make sure that you're staying safe. Make sure that you're loving one another and that you're being kind to everyone. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and stay safe. We'll see you next time.